Welcome, Anil Chikara, sir, to the podcast. Why So Curious? It's an honor to have you as a guest because, I was always seeing you as a person whom I can talk to, whom I can get inspiration from. But to have share a podcast with you, it's such an honor.
It's my pleasure, Rishabh, and I'm sorry you have been after me, but last 2-3 months have been so busy as an entrepreneur, of these huge opportunities that are opening up that I kept pushing you back. But I'm sorry for the delay, but it is a pleasure talking to you, Rishabh.
So in last 2-3 months, you have just changed the entire structure of Blue Board. Like I was the last 2 months when I approached you, I was approached you just for one company or two startups which we are focusing on. But now it's like in 2 months, it's just a completely different game, which just targeting with every sector. Every tech sector, deep tech is focusing on starting from EV to logistics to deep tech to SaaS. Everything you're targeting right now. So it's Blue Volt is going crazy right now.
Yeah, I personally believe that, Rishabh, have you heard of this concept called roaring 20s?
Roaring 20s.
So,
I can know from the name like Roaring 20s. It's
so
something which I can.
1920, 100 साल पहले, we had this Spanish flu and about 70 million people died, right?
Yes, sir.
And then it got over in 1920. And after that, the decade that came is called Roaring 20s. Because what happened was that when something like this happens, people, the way they look at the world, whether it's their personal world or outside world, totally changes. You have this mostly hierarchy where people start thinking very fundamental question: what's the purpose of life?
Yeah.
Am I doing the right thing? What is the future hold for me? Rather than this daily rat race. Because see, if you look at 2019, we were all running in our daily rat race. Travel करना है, flight पकड़नी है, वहां जाना है, ये चल रहा है, वो चल रहा है. And then as February, March came, things started to slow down. People still said, nahi, 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 we will go to webinar, this, that. But I think by April, May, June, people said, you have to stop. You can't even pause. This is not a pause. This is stop.
Yeah.
And I think that gave everybody this opportunity to relook at things. And I'm sure everybody went through that. Especially, you see, I'm connected to more from the entrepreneur kind of perspective, all the startup guys and all that. And I have seen everybody of them having some basic fundamental change in their thinking, their attitude, in the way they look at things. A lot of things have changed. And that thing happened in 1920. If you read about Roaring 20s, Paris became what it was. Paris slowly became the center of art world, the center of fashion. Picasso came in. This big artist started coming in. People, creativity. It's like the age of creativity coming in. Yeah. Advertising boomed. Then movies started coming in. Television came after some time. A lot of technical development happened. And the pinnacle of that was that we had so much technology that we went and did World War after that. But if you really see, it set the cycle for this whole new revolution. And I think the same thing, and one of the big things about humans is we do not learn from our past. And when I say past, I'm not seeing कि यार 10 साल 20 साल का past, 100 years, 500 years, 1000 years. And in India, we are fortunate to have a civilization which goes back thousands of years. मतलब if you were a US guy, you will say यार 200 साल के बाद पहले क्या, 300 के पहले क्या, चलो 500 उससे पहले क्या. हम तो कहते हैं भाई साहब 1000 से तो कहानी शुरू होती है हमारी. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
So, so if you look at that time of India had 25% of the world GDP. And then this whole thing happened, industrialization happened and all that. And that ended up fucking India. That ended up fucking our handloom industry and, a lot of other industries, right? But now with this new roaring 20s, I am predicting, and not just predicting, I think it's kind of so apparent that the whole world is being looked at from a very different perspective. Like 2019 May, where was China in the world view? And where was India in the world view? 2019.
Quite a difference.
Well, how did the world look at China? People were in awe of China. People were envious of China. People said कि यार ये देखो बॉस, ये है एग्जाम्पल, क्या हो सकता है, everybody said वहां की ट्रेन्स देखो यार, वहां का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर देखो and all that. And India is like हाँ कुछ चल रहा है, सरकारी जुगाड़ उधर. But look at now, India is the one which has gone and given vaccines to hundreds of countries. China, like I was talking to somebody in Africa. There's a very large contract that we are working on, where one of the cities in Africa, they want to in the next 2 years convert the whole thing into a EV kind of a zone, which means all two-wheelers, taxis. They have these taxis which are like truck ke chassis pe taxi bana rakha types, that kind of thing, charging station, everything. And I was talking to them, what he said, the Goras, the British or Europeans, they came, looted us, all diamonds, everything, and took it away. The Chinese came, gave us the money in garb of loans, and now they own our infrastructure.
Yeah.
India came and set up hospitals for us in COVID. And India has now taken commitment, we will give you vaccine. So India, suddenly the whole way countries are looking at India has changed. Yeah, they are taking care of our health. Look at India. Look at the chaos that is still going on in Europe or US regarding to COVID. Fortunately, India में थोड़ा सा rise कर रहा है, but overall, I think we are much better. And suddenly, everybody is saying कि यार, the next century belongs to Asia Pacific. I think there is no doubt about that in anybody's mind. Within that, which are the two biggest markets? One is China, one is India. China is a closed market. Look what happened to Uber. They were kicked out.
Kicked out by Didi.
But India, it's a very open market. So the whole world is looking at India ki boss, India, healthcare yaar, hum sab sochte the inka healthcare system is fucked up. It will go down the tube. There will be like thousands and thousands dead on the street.
Yeah.
This farmer, this thing, kitna COVID hoga, but nahi hua yaar. So somewhere they're realizing कि boss, GDP or the quality of infrastructure does not necessarily directly mean welfare of the citizens. So today, even foreigners are saying that India is a much safer place to live than Europe. Could we have imagined that in our lifetime?
No, not as per.
Where India is saying कि भैया तुम्हारी फ्लाइट नहीं आना, हम नहीं चाहते तुम्हारी फ्लाइट यहाँ आए, उल्टा होता था.
हाँ, वो लंदन तो बीच में सर लोग जाने ही छोड़ दिए, मतलब लंदन जाने ही
है ना. And then suddenly this thing happened यार, where we say कि यार why even do you need to travel, man? You can do all, everything online.
Everything from home. Yeah.
And boss, if this same thing had happened 5 years back, our internet would have shut down in India with this kind of a load.
Yeah,
but yaar, shut down hua?
If Jio hadn't
minor hiccups. Because people are consuming video like fucking crazy. There's no tomorrow. YouTube देखो, Netflix देखो, Amazon देखो, और OTT, regional this thing, ये वो सब Zoom पे लगे हुए हैं. समझते कि फोन क्यों करना है? वीडियो कॉल करते हैं. But चल रहा है ना इंटरनेट, टूटा नहीं है ना.
नहीं सर, अभी भी चल रहा है.
I think the time is now, man. So looking at that, I said, yaar, before this, Bluebolt Startup Factory was focusing on just acceleration. So we had a cohort of 6-7 startups. Startups like, and I looked at it from tech perspective. कि यार मेरे को एक fintech चाहिए. So we have Escrow Pay, which allows anybody to set up an escrow account in 10 minutes. So you want to buy a property, buy a equipment, buy a machinery, whatever online. You say, yaar, because of the trust, let's park the money in escrow, and if things go well, it will come here or there. Then there is CodeNinja.ai, which is a zero-code app development platform. You go online, and in this tool, you define the workflow, and it writes the entire software. So the AI engine is trained to write in any language. So right now, they've trained it to write in React Native. So you can go and so your Uber kind of app, you can develop in like 4 days, or an entire ERP in like 2 weeks. And they're already doing this. They're working with Bajaj Allianz, Tata. There's big passive projects, which they would have taken a year and a half, being completed in a month. So that's another one. So then there's Urja.io, which is a Fitbit for machines, industrial machines where there's a motor, compressor, CNC machine. You just snap on that sensor. It doesn't even have a battery. It takes the energy from because these cables, they leak energy, right? So it harvests that energy and connects through a hub to a AI, this thing which monitors the productivity and health and all that stuff. But when this whole lockdown started, and like everybody, I was also like, oh fuck, all your plans have gone to in the nala. Because in November 2019, I had gone to China. We were going to launch $100 million ka fund in China. Say March made all the investors were supposed to come. Everything was booked, and then this shit happened, man. And then I said, boss, ये एक साल जो पीछे किया चाइना का, ये तो चलेगा नहीं, क्या करना है? And that's when I looked at the supply chain and logistics, where I realized कि यार supply chain and logistics is so critical, not even for a company, but for the country. Lockdown hai, sab ghar pe baithe hain, you need everything coming to your home, whether it's food, medicines, whatever.
Anything.
And our supply chain logistics beautifully handled it. So the ones that we see in the front, like Dunzo or Swiggy or these guys, which is like Big Basket, Amazon, this is like the B2C kind of thing. But more important, B2B, where how is this material, whether it's raw material, whether it's processed products and all that, how do they move from factory to go down to wholesalers, to retailers, to your home? It's a industry that we see every day, but we don't notice it.
No.
And I said, this is one industry I need to focus on. So now Bluebolt Startup Factory is focusing more on supply chain and logistics. See, these other first ones that I mentioned, we are basically getting an exit. We just got an exit in one of the fintech startups that we had in that. Another 2 startups from our earlier cohort, we are getting an exit, I think, in the next 30 to 60 days. And that money we are plowing into supply chain and logistics sector.
Yes, sir. But like we started with the EV revolution kind of thing. So what do you think about like logistics? It's something which people don't see, which is something happening back end. Like something FMCG comes to my home, FMCG product comes to my home, but it's come from a delivery boy from Amazon. But there's a back end involved where it comes to ships, ports, and a lot of things which is happening in the back end. But what I'm seeing in the real front end is the boom of EV and the rise of petrol prices and diesel prices in India, which is gaining so much protest. So what do you think about the boom of EV vehicles in EV, basically the EV industry in India?
Yeah. See, when I look at EV and specifically from a logistics perspective, what everybody sees is I call it the light, halka fulka delivery logistics, the food delivery, for example, or the grocery delivery, or so which typically Dunzo does, or Big Basket, or these guys do. The bigger play, which is more hidden. See, this we already know कि यार Big Basket है. देखो Amazon की गाड़ी जा रही है, or whatever. But the bigger place, imagine Fevicol. Fevicol is available in any shop that you go in anywhere in India. मतलब कहते हैं ना कि गांव में भी चले जाओगे, मैगी एंड फेविकोल हर जगह मिलेगा.
हाँ. सही बात है.
वो पहुंचते कैसे हैं वहां पे? पार्ले बिस्किट 5 रुपए का पैकेट हर शॉप पान वाले के पास मिलेगा.
यस सर.
वो कैसे पहुंच जाता है, कैसे रिप्लेनिश होता है? See, the fact is, in the entire supply chain, there is the primary, which means कि यार फैक्ट्री से लेके, मेरी फैक्ट्री है मान लो पूना में, like Pepsi Foods, they are in Pune. From there, they ship to say Goa. So Pune to Goa is a primary. It goes in a big truck.
Yeah.
Which actually there also is amazing disruption happening. This dedicated freight corridors that have come up. A lot of these companies are looking at primary to be shifting on trains.
Okay.
And the secondary is from the go down. So Goa mein there will be a go down warehouse. From there, it has to be shipped to the wholesalers.
Yeah.
And the big retail stores. And from wholesaler to the small retailer. So if you have stood with a pan wala guy, say frequently, you will see that every 15-20 minutes, somebody will come with a 2-wheeler with all cigarettes and everything loaded on that and say, hello, sir, tung, tung,
Huh.
tung. Then the other guy will come, he will have
Yeah.
biscuits, tung, tung, tung. Or if you are standing in front of a bakery, somebody will come with puffs, you know. So this is, they call it the milk run. So 24 hours from the go down to the wholesaler and wholesaler to the retailer, this thing keeps going on, you know. And, you know, for example, Capital Foods, which does this Ching's Secret and all that, they grew by 3 times their turnover just during lockdown. So you can imagine how many noodles the kids were eating stuck at home. ये तो स्टैंडर्ड है ना यार, भूख लगी है, माँ कहते बेटा मैगी खा, you know.
Yes, Sam. Bus.
So Perfetti, Kellogg's, you know, these guys, how, and they spend hundreds of crores in that. Hundreds of crores. You'll be surprised about the numbers that are there.
No, in
This
logistics.
secondary delivery from the go down to the wholesaler and the wholesaler to this thing, this is not like the truck will be like 10 tons or 20 tons or whatever. This is typically 500 to 1000 kg and not even kg. See, if you look at Kellogg's, you look at Pepsi Foods, look at chips, they are shipping more air than matter, right? If you look at a chips ka packet,
70%.
how much volume is occupied by the chips and how much volume is occupied by the bloody air in it? So the weight is not the issue. The issue is volume. And the issue is I need to keep doing it 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Sunday, Saturday, Sunday bhi aata hai, boss. You know, milk ho gaya. Milk laga lo. Just milk and milk products has this huge distribution. और वहां फिर और कॉम्प्लिकेशन है, कोल्ड चेन आ जाता है उसके अंदर. So EVs, and when I say EV, I'm not talking about this anybody with a two-wheeler like Yulu kind of a thing कि यार 20 किलो का उठाना है dot city. Even in two-wheelers, I'm talking about 200 to 50 kg payload. Like one of the customers that we have, we are talking to them, they are into delivering school books. Now, what has happened in the last 1 year, because the schools were shut down, earlier, you know, the parents would go to the school, the vendor will sit there and you buy this whole stack for the next 1 year with notebooks, ruled books, you know. Now that is home delivered. So the school gives the database to the guy sends everybody, they pay for it, and the guy comes and delivers. He said, look, every pack is about 15 to 20 kg. They have made 50,000 deliveries in the during the lockdown. Imagine that. And this is just in 2 cities, not even all over India.
Achha, that's
normal wala scooter nahi chalega hamare liye. I need a two-wheeler with at least 200 to 250 kg or maybe a three-wheeler, yaar, which will carry 500 kg and which will be cheaper than running a two-wheeler, a regular two-wheeler. So the logistics play, I think the biggest play will be electric three-wheelers. So under Blue Bolt Electric, we have an OEM partnership where we are going to have that. And the more important part is the software that tracks it and manages it. Because everything has become so transparent that, like, for example, we are even talking to a new insurance startup saying, yaar, give us insurance on a per kilometer basis. And the bonus on drivers' driving behavior, which we will give you all the data. So end of the quarter, if one driver has driven well, in that kilometers, whoever has driven, give them a bonus. Ki bhaiya, your driving, we are rewarding your driving behavior. And today that's possible. They said, huh? So they are working on a product. So are you looking at it? There's a whole software which is connected. See, the thing is today's, which are the technology? See, this kind of thing, there are certain basic technologies which enable it. Like when the smartphone came in, it's not that Apple did something which is like from zero. The manufacturing technology, the component technology, the screen technology, the chips, the heating, everything came together so that it enabled making a smartphone. Before that, a lot of technologies that were used in that were not even available. Today, the same thing is with EV, where we are saying ki yaar, data, very cheap, cloud, very cheap, AI, easily accessible through APIs, तुम्हें खुद की library भी नहीं लिखनी, IoT sensors, very cheap. Lot of softwares available, most of them available on SaaS, no upfront investment. So we are now talking about a thing which is called TaaS, transport as a service, which came B2C में तो आ चुका है because Uber and Lyft and Ola. Now in US it is happening that the guys, suppose Pepsi for example in US has ordered 10,000 electric vehicles. UPS has ordered 10,000 electric vans, because they are realizing कि यार if we have to keep doing this, and if diesel takes, for example, a Tata Ace, as much as I understand, I don't know the exact one, how much diesel it kind of, I should have done it, but I kind of forget that. But the moment you come to electric, it's still like 1 rupee or something like that, yeah. And especially if the charge, see, when we do this whole thing, then the next thing is charging infrastructure. Now that is becoming cheaper and that is becoming more. But when I'm talking about a hub, for example, I say, Kiar, which city are you, Rishabh?
Dhanbad.
Dhanbad, for example.
Yeah.
I know Dhanbad, yeah. Come on, Dhanbad की introduction. Okay, so imagine Dhanbad. Yeah, Dhanbad के अंदर सारा हमें automate करना है. तो we will have to find कि यार कहाँ पे industrial area है, कहाँ पे warehouses हैं, कहाँ पे wholesalers हैं. And you can put all this information in the analytics, and the analytics will tell you, okay, these are the locations there you need to put charging stations. Because these guys will run. And like, for example, if you look at an electric three-wheeler, that would have, say, 100 to 150, even 150 kilometers ka range in one charge. So 150 kilometer में तो मैं 3-4 ट्रिप मार के वापस आ सकता हूँ. So maybe I'll need to put in a charging infrastructure at the warehouse itself. So the whole deal now is becoming, we go in, we say, look, zero capex. You don't have to spend any money. We will study your hub. We will tell you how many vehicles you need, how many two-wheelers, how many three-wheelers, maybe tomorrow 4-wheel platform. What kind of a charging infrastructure? We will put it up for you. And here's, for example, we have talked to Udaan Capital. Now, Udaan Capital's mandate is to focus on supply chain and logistics.
Yeah.
So they are saying we will lease the entire thing. So if you are a manufacturer and you are running a fleet of your own vehicles, here is an option where we say, yeah, you don't need to spend a single rupee. We will come and install, do everything. You pay us on the usage, a per kilometer basis. So we sign a multi-year contract, a 3-year or a 5-year contract. Right now, say you are paying 12 rupees a kilometer for a Tata Ace in diesel. You pay us, say, 8 rupees a kilometer. Your thing goes down by like 30%, just like that. At zero upfront cost. And you pay us your EMI from your savings there. So it becomes a win-win kind of thing for everything.
It's a zero upfront?
Zero cost upfront.
Oh my God, this is huge, sir. Yeah, like because obviously,
because we have investors in the back who are saying, if you have a 3-year, 5-year contract, take the money because it's safe, na? And the manufacturer, OEM manufacturer we have, he says, okay, if you have a 3-year contract, how many kilometers will be the? I will give you warranty bundled in for that many kilometers.
Correct.
And here, if you look at it, the initial cost of the vehicle is not important. The total cost of ownership is important. How much will it cost over the next 3 to 5 years rather than upfront? So which means, if I have to use a battery in that, I better use the best battery. It's like, saying कि अगर आपको टैक्सी चलानी है 15 साल तक without any breakdown, you should buy a Mercedes, right? That's why people say कि यार लोन ले रहे हो तो अच्छी गाड़ी लो, so that running expense कम आए.
Yeah.
So here we are taking care of everything. यार spare parts चाहिए, batteries चाहिए, everything we are taken care of. You run it and you pay for it, and everything is tracked online. So you can't say यार मैंने इतना चलाया, तूने इतना चलाया. Nothing. Everything is online now.
You can you can give incentives based on like like if the person provides a better performance, then you can incentivize him according to the data analytics which you will get.
Incentivize the drivers actually कि यार safe drive करो. What is the incentive for a driver to run it properly if the vehicle doesn't belong to the driver? See, देखो ड्राइवर की vehicle है तो ठीक चलाएगा.
Yeah.
मालिक की vehicle है तो रगड़ेगा. है ना?
This is something new, like, because as per the initial trend, it was basically more on sales के ऊपर होता था, या फिर अभी like in the latest it's coming to a marketing people only कि if you can bring a good cohort, you will be incentivized. But as per the driver, I have heard it the first time, like this is something.
Yes. New. See, because if you really look at it, the drivers have suffered the maximum during lockdown. Lot of guys didn't get their salaries. This year there has been no hike in the driver's salary, which typically every year happens. So it's tough time for them. And we are saying here, unless the guy who's driving is conscious, पूरा efficiency नहीं आएगी. See, whatever you say online बैठे हैं, track हो रहा है, जो ground पे चल रहा है ना, that is the reality.
So, but it's like it will also help the startup also to gain a good performance of the vehicle, because at the end it's also the vehicle performance. Like अगर वो पहले अगर चला रहा है तो वो 2 साल चल रहा है, but if he is looking for incentives and then he is performing well, वो 3 साल चलेगा. So overall the cost is good, but both are, it's a win-win situation for both the thing. Like
it is. Yeah, you're right.
One thing more, sir, you talk about analytics and the setting up of stations, but regarding the distribution of the EV stations in India, it's still not implemented in a huge way. Like it's still very less. Like I've seen the data of the EV stations as per China and India. It's huge. Like there's a lot. There's like EV stations in India isn't implemented in a huge way. So how will this thing, like how will you surpass this thing, like, and what's the near future in the EV stations kind of thing?
See, if you look at it, I know what I'm going to say can be a bit controversial, but let me say it anyway. See, right now in electric charging in India, it's a land grab going on. It has attracted all kind of players. See, if you really look at, which are the countries you can look at for charging? चाइना की कंट्रीज का तो डेटा, चाइना की सिटीज का डेटा तो नहीं मिलेगा आपको, और जो मिलेगा उसका भरोसा नहीं है. तो यूरोप में है, स्वीडन है, नॉर्वे है, जो पिछले 2 साल से उन्होंने कर रखा है. सो देयर what these guys are doing is they're equating charging stations with petrol pumps, which is the biggest stupid thing to do. They are trying to fit a new thing into an old structure somehow.
Okay.
And that is why they talk. See, the moment you say कि a charging station is like a petrol pump, then your customer perception सोचो क्या होता है. You go into a petrol pump, in 5 minutes you are filled, and then you leave. Same thing you now expect in electric vehicle, which is not possible. कम से कम 20-30 मिनट रुकना पड़ेगा, और वो भी मेरे को बहुत फास्ट चार्जिंग करनी है, which means I need this huge fucking humongous charger which is 22 kilowatt or something like that,
Yeah.
And it consumes a lot of power, and it is big to give you that fast charging in 20 to 30 minutes. Now this costs anywhere between 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh. भाई साहब, जब इतना हेवी इन्वेस्टमेंट तुमने कर दिया अपफ्रंट, उसकी ROI कब आएगी?
लगेगा.
Whereas if you really look at the way charging has grown in Europe, in Norway and all that, there is 2 kind of this thing happened. One is a big, I am going on a big city to city, one city to another, tank full moment, where I will go and completely charge and go. That is only 5% of 5 to 10% of the charging. Rest of that is top up charging.
Yeah,
that is what works in Link. So I go to a cafe, I have a meeting there, I'll be sitting for 1 hour, and outside there is a charger thing, I put it there through the app and say, yaar, 100 rupees ka charge kar de. It tops me this thing up by, it's like mobile phone, yaar. कहीं भी गए, थोड़ा सा लगा लिया, 20 मिनट 20% चार्ज हो गया, चलो. क्योंकि विद इन द सिटी आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू ड्राइव hundreds of kilometers every day. And
like
home charging, कि a charger in the parking, the charger where I can leave it and get charged and get notified कि भैया चार्ज हो गया तुम्हारा, या तो वहां से हटा लो, नहीं तो पार्किंग फीस शुरू हो जाएगी, you know, whatever. That is what has worked in Europe. But India में today charging infrastructure is such a huge money making business. लगाओ 20 lakh 25 lakh. Like Delhi government has taken out a tender where they have said charging station where the EMD for one charging station is 3 lakhs. So we are working with a Finland company which is ex Nokia engineers who have developed this charger. It's a small portable charger, it's a fast charger, but the cost of that charger is like $600, 30-40 हजार रुपए, as compared to 15 lakh 20 lakh. ठीक है यार, वो इतनी जल्दी चार्ज नहीं करता, but we are looking at China and China is dumping this shit on us. Huge chargers which are, boss, मैं बता रहा हूं, in the next 12 months you will have incidents of chargers going on fire when it becomes July, August, June, July in India. When the temperatures go up like that fucking crazy that the way it happens in India.
Country. Yeah.
Bhai sahab, you will see fires happening there. And that is when people will wake up. And that is when drama will say, oh, fuck, ye kya ho raha hai? Then maybe the sanity will come. So I think the whole government investment of these mega chargers, the concept of electric petrol pumps is a flawed one. Rather than that, now you have chargers which are non-Chinese. Yeah, the chargers we have, they're like 4 patents, highest safety rating in Europe. And in Europe, you can't mess around with this thing, local. You know, all that.
Yeah.
And they have things like, you know, they have patents on कि boss जहां वो overload हुआ, जहां power fluctuation हुई, वो automatically switch off कर देगा. भाई साहब, इंडिया में पावर की सिचुएशन सबको पता है पीछे से कैसे आती है, पता है ना. सडनली साला वोल्टेज हाई हो जाएगी, फिर साली कम हो जाएगी. It is going to fuck up this all Chinese imported this thing. So anyway, so that is the B2C का ड्रामा where it's a chicken egg story कि यार जब तक चार्जर्स नहीं होंगे लोग खरीदेंगे नहीं, और जब तक खरीदेंगे नहीं तब तक चार्जर का वायबिलिटी नहीं बनेगा and all that. But when you look at the B2B side, there's no such issue. If I'm coming to Dhanbad and I know यार धनबाद में मेरे को 10 इलेक्ट्रिक 3-wheeler लगेंगे, 15 इलेक्ट्रिक 2-wheeler लगेंगे, ये है रूट चलता रहेगा, मैक्सिमम ये रेस्ट पॉइंट है इनका, ये वेयर हाउस है, मैं वहीं पे लगा दूंगा.
Yeah.
And they are going to use that.
The route is fixed.
So,
yeah.
Because it's a B2B, na, it's a closed fleet. It's not that I'm putting up a charger and then waiting कि यार कोई तो आए चार्ज करे भाई मेरे यहाँ पे.
Correct, sir. Correct. With a range of 150 kilometers.
I feel that in the B2B side, it will go much more smoother. And boss, देखो सीधी सी बात है. Like Pepsi spends hundreds of crores on that. Kellogg's spends hundreds of crores. Pidilite, you know, Capital Foods, they all, this a big FMCG, ITC, you will be shocked. They're in their balance sheets. How much money do they spend on transportation? You know, Jindal Steel, you know, all these guys. The last mile logistics, why they want to do it EV is not because of environment or anything. They are saying, ki, boss, we are right now fighting. Diesel has gone up by 7%. And typically all these companies, their annual contract gives a diesel hike of 3%. There's a big fight going on between transporters and FMCG companies due to this price hike कि भैया हमारा रिवाइज करो 7% को.
Yeah, correct.
और वो कह रहे हैं भैया 7% रिवाइज कर दिया तो हमारा सारा सेविंग्स खत्म हो जाएगी. So they are all saying कि बॉस जल्दी से EV लॉन्च करो so that we can tell the world कि यार देर ऐसा नहीं कि ऑल्टरनेटिव आएगा, ऑल्टरनेटिव आ चुका है भाई. And so then the same transporters can go and say, okay, मेरे को तो फ्लीट चलानी है यार, जो डीजल की गाड़ी हो चाहे इलेक्ट्रिक की गाड़ी हो.
हाँ, क्या ही फर्क पड़ रहा है सर.
So that is where Blue Bolt Electric wants to go to them and say, hey, ठीक है यार, हम तुम्हारी पूरी फ्लीट चेंज कर देंगे, तुम्हें अपफ्रंट कुछ खर्चा नहीं करना पड़ेगा, ये कर लो. You know.
Yeah. So we talked about this thing, but as per the cost, what do you think? Like a normal a Blue Bolt electric 3-wheeler and a difference. What's the cost difference you find between a Blue Bolt 3-wheeler and a diesel or petrol 3-wheeler which is available in the market?
यार, देखो if you look at the cost of running this thing, there are mota, you can put 3 buckets. One is the actual diesel that is consumed in running the vehicle. Okay. Then you have driver salary, the supporting staff salary, and all that stuff. And then you have one part which is my head office, shared expenses, and my margin that transporter gets. So if you like say 12 rupees per kilometer, then 4 rupees diesel, 4 rupees salary or something, 4 rupees what the head office and whatever they make. If you look at just the diesel part, there the EV will bring it down by as much as 70%.
Okay.
But the salary तो उतनी रहेगी.
Salary driver.
ड्राइवर की सैलरी वगैरह तो उतनी रहेगी.
हाँ, वो उतनी रहेगी.
So that 4 rupee may not change. The next 4 rupee, which has overheads and all that, will change because today transporters are typically traditional businessmen, and these are more family kind of run businesses. Chacha, Tau, tu bhi aaja, and all that. So they have 10 times more employees than they actually need. But because चल रहा है यार 20 साल से काम कर रहा है हमारे पास, अब हम इसको कैसे निकाल दें types. So it's a very inefficient system. But when you come to EV, all your tracking actually happens on automatically.
Correct.
Today your e-way bill is happening automatically, your EPOD is happening, your all the data which earlier somebody had to make a report, send it and do BILTI, SHILTI, all that. But these guys are still sitting there. So if you can optimize the entire thing, which means the overheads, this, that, then you can overall, you can easily get anywhere between 20 to 50% saving. And boss, these big FMCG majors, they fight for 1% saving. So when we are close to signing contracts with couple of FMCGs, and when we told them, boss, we will give you a guaranteed 20% reduction, he kind of fell off the chair. He's like, boss, last year I did so much work and got 2% savings. and the guy's personal bonus, performance, everything depends on saving, because logistics is a cost center.
Yeah, correct.
It's not a profit center. So the whole, anything related to cost center, the whole focus is ki kam karo, dabao. You know? So he says, boss, 20% kar dunga to mera to bonus will be like, whoa. So they are after us, ki boss, jaldi shuru karo. You know?
This is something like this. It's really amazing, sir. Like I haven't heard these things in the, like I've seen a lot of interviews, but this is something.
यार, the problem पता क्या है EV में, ये सारा ड्रामा ना पुराने स्टाइल से चल रहा है कि यार हम स्कूटर बनाएंगे या 3-wheeler बनाएंगे, शोरूम होगा, लोग आके खरीदेंगे and all that. Everybody is still looking it as a product market.
B2B, B2C,
B2B, even B2B.
Okay.
Mahindra ने 3-wheeler निकाला है, which we all know is a China imported 3-wheeler. You know, all these guys are doing it, but their whole thing is कि यार showroom पे आओ, लेके चले जाओ. They're still looking it as a product thing. It is not a product thing. It is a service thing. So I come from the IT side, system integration and all that. And I know, yaar, if you can put a whole thing together, and EV is, even manufacturing people are getting it wrong. EV is an assembly business and not a manufacturing business. Whereas automotive is a manufacturing business. EV is more akin to assembling a laptop or a mobile phone rather than making a car. People don't get it. So today, who would you be? Foxconn or iPhone?
iPhone.
Right. But why is Ola rushing to be the Foxconn of EV? और बजाज और हीरो इलेक्ट्रिक और एथर बड़े प्यार से बोलो इतनी बड़ी फैक्ट्री लगा रहे हैं. They all want to be Foxconns, which is stupid. This is an electronics assembly game. How the TV that you see, उसका ट्यूब कहां से आया है, चिप कहां से आई है, वो कहां से है, who cares?
The entire structure becomes more optimized when it's under one like manufacturer. Like
so it's an assembly thing where you say कि यार बैटरी वहां से आएगी, मोटर वहां से आएगी, फ्रेम मेरे लिए वो बनाएगा, ये इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स होगा, ये होगा, एक असेंबली प्लांट होगा, वहां असेंबल करेंगे और बेच देंगे और अब डिप्लॉय हो जाएगा. सो आई एम सो हैप्पी, एक्चुअली आई एम हैप्पी व्हेन आई लुक्ड एट द होल थिंग दैट this automotive guys have got it all wrong. And I don't blame them because this is again controversial. See, this is like the oil companies trying to invest in renewable energy. Oil companies knew the renewable energy is going to finish them off one day or another. They invested in a lot of early technologies and they throttled them so that the adoption becomes slower. See, adoption is inevitable. All you can do is slow it down. Look at the automotive industry, the BS6, the investments, the huge plants, the major overheads, this complicated supply chain, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, एक बैठ के नट बोल्ट बना रहा है और एक ये कर रहा है और huge plants and all that. Imagine the amount of investment that is sunk into that. And here comes new EV guys who will just get in parts, assemble it and start selling. What happens to them? So what do? They go and invest in Yulu. They go and invest in Ather. And what happened to Ather? Ather became a premium product. Today, actually, if you really look, it's flipped. Today, EV two-wheeler will be cheaper than the equivalent petrol ka two-wheeler.
Yeah.
But the whole perception they are creating in the market is, oh, it's a premium vehicle. Why? Because they are focusing this Instagram bakchodi ka jo hota na ki yaar I will go in my car but on weekend I will take my Ather out, something like that. They do not want it to be mass adopted by regular people who day in day out earn their living on this, like a delivery guy or this small shop owner pass mein who you call up and say यार पानी भेज दे, अंडे भेज दे, ब्रेड भेज दे. ये सब डिलीवरी चलती रहती ना. और हमारे तो छोटे शहरों में तो कब से चल रही है यार. लाले के वहां से चलती है भाई, वो भेज देता है. वो एथर नहीं खरीदेगा लेकिन उसके दिमाग में डाल रहे हैं कि भाई ईवी तो महंगा है, चलाना तो इसी से चलाओ. या वो यूलू का है थका हुआ सा, वो चलाओ. आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल सेम थिंग. Oil companies investing in renewable, but now we know what happened to oil. So automotive companies trying, and that's why Tesla became from ground up. Why couldn't the other guys do it? They technically they could, but they tried to delay it. But when apna ye Tesla came in and it exploded the market, now they are all saying 2030 tak Volkswagen, or I don't know which one I read, will be completely EV.
General Motors.
Boss, it's a survival thing. उनको दिख गया है जो तुम्हारे तो मरने वाले हो, तुम नहीं करोगे तो मरोगे. कोई एहसान नहीं कर रहे हो तुम, क्योंकि एहसान तब करते हैं कहते यार हमारी डीजल और पेट्रोल की बहुत अच्छी बिक रही है, बट टू सेव द एनवायरमेंट वी विल पुश ईवी. They didn't do it. Now they're being forced to do it. Same thing is happening in India also. All these guys, Tatas, Mahindras and all that, they are a product guys. They do not understand this whole transport as a service thing. We in the IT industry understand. We have done this shit for 30 years. कि तू वो डेवलप करेगा, तू ये करेगा, system integration, project management.
But so
it's a SaaS thing.
For B2C, तो you need na कि like for B2C like Blue Tech. See, Blue Bolt is working on B2B, but for B2C you need these fakers like Ather. B2C you need fakers.
So there are a lot of buys like Zip is there, E-Bike Go is there, Yulu is there. I call it Blue Bolt का जो blue है ना, that comes from Blue Ocean Strategy. That's my favorite book, the Blue Ocean Strategy. So that B2C वाला जो food delivery and all that जिसमें सब पिले हुए हैं, that's a red ocean, which is very competitive, very this thing.
Very.
What I'm focusing on is the B2B logistics side, which is 500 kg plus within the city. Now that is a blue ocean where none of these guys are looking at. In fact, I think now, last I heard, what is that? Rivigo. Rivigo was saying that they may look at electric fleets or things like that. But Rivigo then I guess when they need a fleet, I can give them the fleet.
Revigo has a
at
good
0
model.
miles.
Like I've been studying Revigo model. They say like
Yeah.
for a normal truck, they reduce the cost of some optimization by saying that if a truck goes from A to B, rather they prefer to A to B to C to D to E in divide in
uh,
parts. That optimizes the entire thing, and it enables
exactly.
driver to take rest, and the overall journey becomes lesser than a normal direct A to B. So
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
reading.
So what I expect is that, there will become, in these hubs, there'll be places where there'll be places for driver to rest while the car is getting charged, or
Huh,
whatever, three-wheeler is getting
yeah,
charged, or two-wheeler is getting charged. वहाँ पे चाय पियो, ये कियो, वो करो, थोड़ा entertainment. I don't know what all. But this is how I see the whole thing growing.
correct. This is really awesome. One last thing, you talk about the entire structure is working on pay per kilometer thing. So why this
Yes.
made like why can you define the reasoning behind pay per kilometer metric as a cost of revenue which you have chosen for the startup?
So if you look at it now, see, one basic thing is it's perfect for your business model if the way you spend is totally aligned with the way you earn. Let me give you an example. Suppose you are running a SaaS software. The customer will pay you on a per month basis. But imagine you have to spend all the money upfront to enable it.
Hmm.
So your खर्चा तो तुम्हारा सारा upfront हो रहा है.
उधारी वाला सीन हो
पैसे
गया
आ
मतलब.
रहे हैं थोड़ा थोड़ा. Now that's a dissonance it creates in the business model. So if I am, see, my ultimate goal, and I know it's too early for that, is when the battery guy also gives me a battery and the electric vehicle guy also gives me a vehicle, rather than me paying upfront for the vehicle, they give me on a per kilometer basis. The analogy is very simple. Airtel or telecom guys, when they set up towers earlier, Airtel used to spend all the money to set up the tower, pay for all the equipment on that, the generator below, the everything upfront, and then they would keep earning. Now they don't do that. They set up a tower. Some Indus Towers comes and sets it up. Ericsson gives the equipment. Somebody gives the generator and all that. And on every call, everybody gets a cut.
Okay.
So if there's 1 rupee ka call, then 10 पैसे Ericsson तेरे पर तू ले ले, 20 पैसे तू ले ले यार, 10 पैसे तू ले ले. समझ रहे हो ये बात? और ये 15 पैसे बचे ये एयरटेल के ब्रांड मैनेज करने के और कस्टमर को मैनेज करने के, whatever. I don't know the exact split, they will not tell, but this is that model where everybody starts getting paid on a. So I want that thing to come in कि यार बैटरी मैन्युफैक्चरर मेरे को आएगा कि सर मैं बैटरी दे रहा हूं, 3 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है ना आपका, और आपको 3 लाख किलोमीटर चलाने हैं, 300,000 kilometers. I am giving you a battery for 300,000 kilometers. And if it finishes in between, I will replace it at my cost. You pay me on a per kilometer basis even for my battery. Trust me, the battery guy will earn more because we have done the calculations. If I have a 3-year contract, the entire cost of my EV and charging and all that, in 7 to 10 months, I will get all of that back. And the next 2.5 years is pure profit. So I am expecting कि भाई the moment the vehicle guy knows कि यार मैं तो upfront में 3 लाख में तुमको 3-wheeler दे दिया, 3 लाख तो तुम्हारा 6 महीने में आ गया, उसके बाद तो तुम बनाए जा रहे हो यार, तो मैं कहूंगा यार तू 3 लाख मत ले upfront, मैं तेरे को दे देता हूं per kilometer. Understanding my point? How Tesla is going to start, instead of selling cars, you will be able to just order them for rides and Tesla will own them. And because Tesla owns them, the maintenance will be done by Tesla. Tesla knows the quality of stuff that is there. कितना चलेगा, कितना नहीं चलेगा, कब बंद होने वाला, कब नहीं होने वाला, कब क्या change करना है. So that is why we are going into this whole per kilometer basis, because right now, even the FMCG companies, they pay their their transporters on a per kilometer basis. So they will say Tata Ace, इसका इतना volume है, मेरे इतने case आते हैं एक Tata Ace में. See, if they have a full vehicle load, they will give a full vehicle per kilometer. Then they start splitting it up and say, yaar, I will give you on a per case basis. My case is itna by itna by itna. One case of say chips, one box of chips, that is one case. That case is इतना, तुम कितना वॉल्यूम लेके जाओगे, हम वॉल्यूम पे देंगे, क्योंकि उनका वेट बहुत कम है. So, but everywhere, whichever way you look at it, it becomes on a pay per unit basis. Now that unit may be the volume that you are carrying or the weight you are carrying or a simple per kilometer basis.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of connected to each other. And in the back end, if you can create that entire chain right from the battery cost is 50 to 60% of the commercial EV cost.
Okay.
You need to know that. Yeah. So battery is very important. If I can get a battery on a per kilometer basis, मेरे को क्या tension है यार? So that is the logic. Just aligning the entire chain to a single thing so that there's no disharmony.
And the entire FMCG is directly dependable on you. There's no other things they have to manage, like human resource and other things like
nothing.
No.
Today also, FMCG companies don't run their own fleets. They give the contracts to a certain fleet operators.
That I give.
So the same fleet operator will run our things. These are the guys on the ground, transporters who will employ the drivers and the cleaners and the maintenance and all that stuff, right?
But now with analytics, with what analytics you are targeting?
Cloud पे होगा. वो cloud पे होगा कि भैया सुबह मिलेगा WhatsApp पे कि आज भैया यहाँ ऐसे जाना है. वो कोई human कुछ नहीं है. This is all that is done actually.
So that analytics is also new in the market from this side, or already been existed in the FMCG?
There are different. Like for example, I've heard this startup called Locus, which offers this as a service. They will optimize it and all that. Or one of our portfolio startup, Freight Deck, for example. So they have customers like Pepsi, Pidilite, Jindal Foods and all that. So for example, Pidilite recently came to them and said, we want to open a new depot in South India. Please look at all our data and tell us which is the best location depending on the how many trips that we did last year, kahan pe kitna, which way, how much was shipped, where and all that. Cloud, please analyze it and tell us. So they said, this is where you need to put your depot.
Yeah.
Rather than putting a depot and then saying, ab yahan se kaise kare. So it's like, it's changing.
Pre-analyze.
Another thing is, ek saal pehle, when we went to all these manufacturers, they said, karenge and all that. But lockdown ne aisa danda mara sabko. वो कह रहे हैं भैया जल्दी करो. See, some of the customers of Freight Deck, like Pepsi and all, who had automated some of their depots and others were in the pipeline to do that. A lot of these manufacturers realized that during lockdown, the ones which were automated ran very smoothly and the ones which were not had a lot of chaos. So now top से आ रहा है कि भैया अभी टाइम नहीं है, करो. पहले था कि we have a 2-3 year का roadmap to slowly automate everything. Now everybody is coming and say, can you do it in the next 3 months?
Moreover, automation is becoming cheap. Like before, it was very expensive.
Exactly.
Now it's getting
cheap. It was a preserve of these big guys, Tatas, Mahindras, Ashok Leyland. These big guys, only they could afford this high-end thing. Today, it's become commonplace.
So, sir, these were all the things which I was supposed to ask, and what I thought of asking was just 10% of what we have discussed over this interview. Like this is just on a different level. It went on a different level. So, thanks a lot for being here, buddy. Getting investing your time over here, and letting people know the future of EV and a lot of other things also along with EV which we discussed. So, thanks a lot, sir.
My pleasure. You take care, buddy.
Any last words to the audience if you want to say?
See, if the audience is entrepreneurs like me, I would say, boss, this is the time. This is the 2021 is the time to start if you have not started already, because next 10 years will be huge. And if you do not do anything, 10 years, 20 years down the line in your life, you'll look back and say, oh, fuck, what an amazing opportunity it was and I didn't do it. See, every downturn, like 2007-8 downturn, Flipkart came, Uber came. So every
WhatsApp
downturn,
came.
huge new companies which are aligned with this new reality come up. And today, whether it's health tech, whether it's logistics, whether it's SaaS, look at education. Education is going to be crazy. So look at anything. This is a decade of growth, and this is the time to set up something that if you want.
Definitely. So thanks a lot, sir, for the podcast, and I guess it's time to wrap up.
Okay. Take care, man. Thanks for inviting me. Bye-bye.
Thanks, sir.